I will continue with welcoming everyone new and our dear participants and speakers. As we delve into topics ranging from cultural issues to language barriers, stereotypes, alternative learning, online education, and the future of learning, let us approach these discussions with an open mind, a willingness to learn, and a commitment to collaborative action. I am genuinely excited about the rich conversations, innovative ideas, and collaborative efforts that will unfold in the course of this conference. The power to affect change lies within each one of us, and together we can shape a future where education knows no boundaries. Once again, thank you for being a part of this important conversation. Let us embrace the spirit of collaboration, diversity, and inclusivity throughout this conference. So I'm not sure if you can hear Flens in the background, our cat. So just before we delve into the virtual realm of our conference, I have the joy of introducing a special guest who will be with us in spirit, bringing a unique touch of charm to our online gathering. Meet Francis. He's around in the office now, the official office cat and moral boosting extraordinate. Francis, our office cat, has a unique background. His backstory is amazing. Actually, he was adopted from an unexpected place, that is prison, where he once roamed with a spirit as untamed as the questions we aim to tackle today. Now, you might be wondering why Francis? Well, beside having a name like that sounds like he's a character from a whimsical novel, Francis has a knack for turning any virtual meeting into a perfectly delightful experience. His credentials include virtual napping expertise, mastering the art of headbutts for attention, and offering sage advice through his experience. Through his expressive whiskers. Despite his unconventional origin, Francis has become an integral part of our office community. His mere presence has a remarkable ability to break the ice, ease tension, and remind us all to approach challenges with a bit of curiosity and a lot of whiskers. Feel free to give a virtual wave if you spot him on screen during the conference. Who knows, you might even catch a glimpse of his renowned virtual catnap technique in action. So let's extend a warm welcome to our furry colleague, Francis, as he adds a touch of whimsy to our virtual conference today. And now we're going to share a short video of Lens. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey there, I'm Flens. The cat with a tale to tell used to live behind bars with my favorite human. But Luxmond and a kind bunch from a humanitarian gang scooped me up. Had my share of health hiccups, but look at me now, a year and a half strong. I've become the rock star of this place, spreading cheer like catnip. My energy and zest light up every nook. From funny moves to random antics, I'm the headliner in this feline fiesta. Life's a perfect melody now, and I'm the cat who found his forever stage. Meow on, my friends.
So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video of Lens, and I'm sure you will spot him around somewhere during our conference. So now let's start with our first speaker, that is Mrs. Egle. Egle is our colleague. She works at the National Institute for Social Integration. She mainly works with refugees and assist with integrating and mainly like everything about integration and integrating them with the society, especially in Lithuania. We would like to welcome Egli with us now, and we're going to share a presentation. Hello, Egli, welcome.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. My name is Egla, and I will share my presentation.
Egli, if you can't share it, we can share it from here if you want.
No, I can do it. Just
Okay,
1 minute.
perfect.
You cannot see right now, yes?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll try again.
Egli is sharing it.
Can you see right now?
Yes.
All right. Today, I would like to introduce Social Hostel Hata. The Social Hostel operates according to the program All Different, All Equal of the National Institute of Social Integration. What is Hata? Hata is a social hotel, is an alternative education place, is a unique residential facility that not only provides housing but also serves as an inclusive learning environment, offering educational opportunities and support services for refugees or former prisoners seeking an alternative pathway to education and personal development. What they do, National Institute of Social Integration has assembled a team of experts who help the residents of this hostel to found a temporary housing, to found a job, offering opportunities for acquiring new skills, fostering personal growth, and solve everyday challenges. Who lives here? In this hostel, we are creating new homes for refugees and former prisoners. Currently, 6 refugees and 3 former prisoners living in 4 apartments. We have 4 different locations in Vilnius, and they are assisted by social workers, psychologists, educators, and translators. On this slide, you can see some pictures of Hata, which is very cozy, warmly. They have rooms, they have a little kitchen, and they have a relaxing or educational space. Currently, people, the migrants who live there, most of them, they learn Lithuanian language to integrate into the society. We have a couple of migrants who are studying at university, and some of them are learning new skills to found a new skill to integrate into society. What issues are faced? Of course, first of all, is language barrier because people they don't speak the Lithuanian language. That's why they are learning Lithuanian. They have cultural adjustments, recognition of prior learning, access to information, legal documentation and issues, of course, financial issues, and there is a trauma and mental health, and limited access to technology. And this is a final slide, which Hata is very cozy and warm, where strangers become friends and friends become family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Egli. Can you hear me, guys? Is it? Okay. So, Agla, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. What's like the best part of working with refugees for you?
The best part to find young people who really want to integrate in the society, who have a good background of education, and they are willing to learn new things or to enter university. And it's very happy to see that they are willingly learning and want to integrate into the society.
Did you face any difficulties approaching these refugees, or did they face any specific problem within their integration in the society, especially regarding education?
Some people they are lack of motivation, some people they are lack of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and then I see someone who really able to integrate or learn new skills. Of course, it's very important to motivate this person to try to find a ways to find the right information, to legalize some education documents from their back countries. And it's very happy to see if the people want to do that. So we are always willing to assist, and some people they are doing very well.
Okay, that's great to hear. Do you have any suggestions or any advice to refugees who's not only coming to Lithuania but like to any other part of Europe or any other country? How do you think they should approach living in a new culture? Maybe they have, of course, they have a different background, and there's like other issues that they might be facing. Do you have any advice for them?
I think it's very important if migrants come to any new country is to start learning their country language. It is very important to be able to communicate. Of course, if someone speaks English, they can manage with that, but at least a small conversation to carry in Lithuania, it's very important. And of course, I always tell to migrants that education is key to success. And I always motivate them to learn new skills, to find new professions, which we have lots of possibilities to do that through employment services and just to motivate the people to never give up and to educate and to learn new things and to be successful in the future.
So much for your time, Egle. Um, and if anyone has any question to Egle, you can stick to the end, n- or you can raise your hand now. You have like you can ask for a couple minutes, and you can also wait to the end during our Q&A session. Okay, I think we can proceed. Uh, can you hear me? Well, okay. So, thank you, Egle, again. Now I want to welcome our next speaker, Mrs. Dama. Um, our next speaker brings a dynamic blend of medical expertise, humanitarian passion, and a personal journey of cultural intersectionality. Please join me in welcoming Dama Al Diwan. She's a fifth year medical student at Vilnius University, representing both the Netherlands and Iraq. We are honored to have Miss Dama with us today, a dedicated medical student with a profound interest in humanitarian aid. She will be sharing her personal reflection on religion, particularly her experience as a Muslim in a non Muslim country in the context of our virtual conference, Migrant Inclusion in the Education System. Let's extend hand a virtual round of applause to welcome Mrs. Dama. Miss Dama will talk. Dama talk will be heartfelt exploration of the topic she's going to talk about, that is cultural issues, mainly religion, offering a unique perspective on the challenges and trumps of practicing Islam in a non-Muslim country. Her insights promise to contribute significantly to our understanding of cultural inclusion and diversity within education setting. Without further ado, let's turn our attention to Ms. Dama. We eagerly anticipate your discussion on religion, particularly your experience and its relevance to migrant inclusion in the education system. So, welcome, Dama.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. And thank
Hello.
you for having me.
Thank you
Um,
for joining us.
I will be sharing presentation. Just let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Can you?
Moment.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been asked to talk to you today about my experience as a Muslim girl wearing the hijab and studying and living in Europe. And I'll be talking about the struggles and the challenges which we face as a foreigner, highlighting the positives and the negatives that we experience, and also how the university fits into this picture, if they provide any assistance or if they have facilities to tackle certain issues. And I will be telling you about my personal experience, but I also have included some examples of stories, what I've heard from colleagues and friends. So, shortly about me, who I am and where I'm from. As Signa already told, I'm originally from Iraq, but I've lived almost my entire life in the Netherlands. And I've been studying in Vilnius medicine since 2019. And last year, I went on exchange to Tbilisi, Georgia. So, some of the struggles as a foreigner, I think Egle already discussed a few. So you certainly have some challenges. Besides not speaking the local language, you can think of the struggles in finding your way around the cultural shock and differences between societies. One main struggle is the different food, but more importantly, working in healthcare and hospitals with the hijab, which will be my main point of my presentation. And of course, the main things of cultural and religious traditions and duties. And the very important element for us as students is feeling homesick, which many students struggle with, especially during the first year. And as you can see from a small survey among international students, the two main things that we miss the most are the family and the food. But I can add to this, we miss out on many things, such as celebrations of birthdays, graduations. Someone gets a baby, and one of my friends told that her brother was getting married and she couldn't be there because she had an exam. So, how does the university help international students? And do they provide any assistance, or do they have facilities to give us the opportunity to still engage in certain activities? How do we find our way around in Vilnius? To get to know the city, the university provides us with a so-called student mentor the first year. That's the student who will guide you and help you throughout the first weeks. Before you arrive, the university asks if you would like to have someone that helps you, and the university will share your contact information so you could plan a meeting. And when you arrive, they could pick you up, show you around, and give you a tour through the city. They try to organize the event with other students to get to know them. You could help each other. They can help you with everything, all the questions you have, and if you need any help. They will also tell you about some events that will be organized for new students, but this is just for a few weeks. So next, for the international students, there is no university support to find a place to live. Of course, every university has dorms to offer, but you sign up beforehand. It's not always guaranteed that you get a room. Generally, the rooms are shared between 2 or 3 students, but if you don't like to share your room, you could find your own apartment by looking through the Arodas website. And you could also find through some Facebook pages, but you have to be very careful because it has happened that students get scammed. They are promised the space before arriving, and when they arrive, the landlord tells them that the place already has been rented. As for the contract, mostly it's provided in Lithuanian only. Sometimes it is possible to ask for an English copy, but it's not always the case. Coming to the university facilities, are there any facilities inclusive for international students and mainly international Muslim students? There are so-called the student representative organizations who can help raise certain issues and concerns to the university to help solve problems. These are study related and led by local and international students. So there you have the possibility to raise your voice and being heard as international students in case of study related matters. For sports, there are possibilities for separated girls gym, and it's relatively cheap for students, so this is Muslim friendly. There are a few events organized in English, like conferences. It's possible to sign up and participate or attend those, as long as it fits in our busy university schedule. But the party's not really Muslim friendly, I would say, since it's almost always alcohol involved. Regarding the holidays that we don't get possibilities to get a day off for our Muslim festivals or any festival like Diwali, for example, for the Indian students. We have only the Christmas, New Year, and like national holidays. So this one, the struggle of food, is one of the main struggles for international students, especially Muslims, since we need halal meat and there's no halal food in the university cafeteria. Some vegetarian options are there, like vegetables and potatoes, but the menu is not everywhere in English. There are no labels since it's a buffet, and most dishes are freshly cooked. The workers don't speak English, so you cannot ask about the ingredients. But when I came here in 2019, there were at that time not many international students and especially not many Muslims or Muslim restaurants. Nowadays, 2023, there is much more options available in the city. However, not all places are 100% halal. Some still work with alcohol besides or pork, so there could be an issue of cross contamination. Some restaurant owners they tell you to make an order or reservation beforehand so they could prepare the halal meat for you when you like to come. So regarding the religious duties and prayers, I don't think there is any university in Europe that has a prayer room, not in Vilnius or the Netherlands. I haven't seen any so far. In Georgia, the students tried to organize such place in the university, but the administration denied it because a shortage of space. Um, Even though the idea was to include all students and religions, like making a meditation room or a silence room. However, I know in the Netherlands, at some hospitals, there is such space called a prayer room, sometimes a silence room, that is designed for prayers. And there are sometimes chapels. I've seen one in a hospital in Vilnius during our classes, but I don't remember which hospital it was. And then coming to one of the most important subjects of my presentation today, of course, because the healthcare is my field of work as a medical student. So how about working at a hospital or doing our clinical practice and rotations during medical studies? Especially for me, wearing as a girl wearing the hijab in Lithuania and Georgia, I have been able to enter hospitals and surgical rooms with my hijab and wearing long sleeves. However, in the Netherlands, the rules are wearing short sleeves inside the hospitals. Scrubs and the white coat have short sleeves, and you're not allowed to wear long sleeves under your white coat. And that's not 100% Muslim friendly. The hijab is still allowed in some places in the hospital, but not in the surgical rooms. In many European countries, especially Germany, Belgium, and France, it's a challenge working in healthcare and being allowed to wear the hijab. Not only the hospitals, but also universities, governmental institutions. Women are forced to quit because they're not allowed to wear the hijab. Unfortunately, this is not news. The Court already decided the hijab ban in 2017, 2021, and just last week, it was again on the news. They again decided that employees have the right to ban the hijab, with the reason that employers may prohibit visible wearing of religious and political symbols to protect neutrality towards customers and to avoid social conflicts. And this has happened to me just 2 months ago. I was applying for an internship position at a clinic in Berlin. So the owner wanted to have a Zoom meeting to get to know each other. And as soon as he saw me with a hijab, he asked me the question what I will be wearing when working there. He gave me the option, the choice to either come to work, take it off during working time, and wear it when I go back home, or say no, and by then our meeting just ends. And this honestly affected me very much. I've been refused a few times before in the Netherlands, but they never gave me the reason that it was my hijab, or it was indirect. They never stated it like this way. So this hurt me actually. And as I told you before, in the Netherlands, the hijab is not accepted in the operation room. There was a colleague of mine in Amsterdam who took it off to enter the surgery, and after finishing her surgery, she wanted to go home and she discovered that it has been stolen. Another friend who has been refused into operation room one time in Vilnius, but it was even a surprise for the course coordinator because it was just one incident, hopefully the first and the last one. And I have been able to enter surgeries there, and many other other girls with a hijab, they go into surgery rooms in Vilnius. It's okay. So, lastly, I would like points. How do other people see me and girls with hijab, and if or comments that made me feel uncomfortable? Short answer, yes, it happened. So, but this strongly depends actually on the person and differs from one to another. Some people are not educated enough, so they have a kind of prejudice. They might see a girl with a hijab as less smart, less educated, even maybe oppressed, or less of a person with less rights. And I have encountered some situations or comments in which people made me feel less welcomed and less accepted. Many people think they ask me where do you come from, and when I answer like the Netherlands, they say, but where do you really come from? You know, they don't believe that in the Netherlands are women with hijab, and some don't know the difference between a belief, a nationality, the culture, or society. So you could live in a society but having a belief, and that's very personal. Some don't know or cannot see the difference between the girls wearing the hijab and coming from a country um, or like they can't even distinguish between coming from an Asian country or an African country. So coming to the end, I would like to summarize the main points of my presentation to answer our main concerns regarding inclusivity. Feeling homesick is one of the worst for the international students, having struggles with the food, the cultural shock, and missing out on celebrations and family events. There's no opportunities to celebrate our cultural traditions, and there's no space to practice our religious duties and prayers. There's sometimes some discrimination against the hijab, but uh, luckily not every country yet. And some people cannot see the difference between if you come from Iraq or Morocco. Regardless, the negatives. There is some positive about studying abroad as an international student. You, for sure, experience new culture, exchange knowledge. You make new friends, learn a language, and try new food. And you're not alone. There's always some support from the university. There's other students, international students, and of course, it's always very good for your personal development and growth. So thank you very much for your attention. This was it for me. And if you like to know more and you have questions, feel free to contact me anytime. And please stay with us to the end where we will have Q&A session and I will be gladly to answer your questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rama. It's a great pleasure having you with us. I just can't stick to the end to ask you some questions. So I just want to know what was the best part for you being an international student in Lithuania, especially as a Muslim?
The best part is I think to see like how and yeah, European, I would say a young European country, the difference between the West Europe, like Netherlands, because I've been living in the Netherlands since I was young and I grew up
Mm-hmm.
as a multicultural society. There were many Muslims, and to go to Lithuania where there were almost no Muslims. So how they adapt actually, and how the struggles for us, um, how we manage that, and
Mm-hmm.
still feeling welcomed actually, since there's so much negativity about us in the media, but still I felt welcomed, and we were like just normal. We were seen as just normal humans. There was not so many discrimination in the streets, so that was
Okay,
good. Yeah.
yeah, that's perfect. I just want to ask you one more question. So,
Mhm.
you've been studying here for like for 5 years now. What's the difference that you're with the way people are communicating with you or are seeing you now, compared to when you first came to Lithuania?
I don't think there is much difference actually. Um, like I said in the beginning, it was quite relatively normal.
Uh-huh.
I think because Lithuania in general and the people in Vilnius, they're very kept to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they respect their boundaries. They don't interfere with other people much. So and it's still like I feel that many international people are still welcome there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the people in general, they have to adapt, but you see that it goes smoothly in Vilnius. It is okay, but maybe in other cities like Kaunas it's still like harder, or maybe smaller cities it's
Oh,
still
okay.
yeah, it's still there is difference, but in Vilnius it's generally okay. Yeah.
All right. So, in your university, especially,
Mm.
um, your colleagues, did you find it easier to have international students or Lithuanian students as friends? Like, where did you have more friends, like international
Like
or
mm,
Lithuanians?
well, in general, we have our classes are in either international groups or
Mm-hmm.
Lithuanian groups. So we don't mix a lot with the Lithuanian groups.
Oh, okay.
And in general, you, of course, you would feel easier with people from your same background. So
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to connect with the international students. However, we had some classes, like I had in the second year, we had one course mixed with international or with Lithuanian students, and they were very nice, and they liked also to practice their English, and they liked to help with translations in the hospital, and um, they were also, they like to have international friends. So it is, you could like have Lithuanian friends if you like and connect
Mm-hmm.
with them. However, like I said, like our busy university schedule and our classes are just separated, so you see them very little.
So, as I understood that your classes, like international student classes and Lithuanian classes,
Mm.
student classes, are separated. They are
Yes,
not
yes,
common.
different, very different
It's like a
program.
department for international and a
Yes,
department for Lithuanian.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay, that's interesting.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and
because they
so
get their
yeah,
education. Sorry, they get their classes in Lithuanian language, and we
yeah,
get
yeah,
in
right.
English language. So yeah.
Okay. So I also wanted to ask one more thing.
Mm.
I'm always saying one more thing and then I'm asking a lot more. Okay, so you mentioned that you had internships in hospitals in Lithuania, right? Or
No,
not
not
yet?
internships. Just during
L-
our classes,
Oh,
we
okay.
have classes in
Okay.
hospitals. Yeah.
S- Okay, so um during your stay like in the hospital in your class, do you find like people staring at you in a weird way, or that like you're a weirdo, like what is she doing here, or is everything going fine? And
Um. Of course, you get people looking at you. I mean,
mm-hmm,
but it's like general patients or people like in the hospital, but not really in the class. No, because we have mostly international people. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, everyone looks like okay, they are students, but it's just a general look,
But do
not
they
really weird way.
approach you or like ask you
Um,
something, talk to you, or just sit
no,
and go?
no,
Okay,
no, not really. Just look.
all
Yeah.
right. So I want to thank you so much, Dama,
Thank
for
you.
taking part in our conference. It's a great pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, guys, if you have any question for Dama, please stick to the end during our Q&A. But because I'm the presenter, I can ask anytime. And you can raise your hand, but like mainly stick to the end. So, thank you so much, Dama, again. Um, now, sorry. Now we are going to talk um, to to Dr. Wasim. Unfortunately, because he has surgeries all the time, because he's literally a doctor, and he won't be able to take part like although he's with us during this conference, but I don't think he's going to be able to uh, talk a lot during this conference. So I want to welcome Dr. Wasim with us today. Thank you so much for your dedication. Dr. Wasim, he is a dedicated medical professional with a unique multicultural perspective. Please join me again in welcoming Dr. Wasim. He's a resident in, or I hope I say it right, otorhinolaryngology, I don't know, with a master's diploma in general medicine from the Lithuanian University of Health Sciences. We are honored to have Dr. Wasim Rajaj with us today, bringing his medical expertise and cultural insights to our virtual conference, Migrants Inclusion in Education System. Let's extend a virtual round of applause to welcome Dr. Wasim. He has a background that spans both Lebanon, my country, and Lithuania. Dr. Ajaj will be addressing also cultural issues, but more about everything in general because he's been living in Lithuania for a long time now. He has a a cultural diversity on education. He's going to be shedding light on the challenges and opportunities that arise in inclusive learning environments. Um, we'll dive more into Dr. Wasim's insights. We are going to listen to a recorded video from Dr. Wasim, where he discuss on the cultural issues and their significance in the context of migrant inclusion in the education system. So, yeah.
Hello, my name is Wasim Ajaj, or the Lithuanian Vasim Mayai. I am from Lebanon. I have been living in Lithuania since 2004. I came here as an international student, became a medicine in Kaunas. At that time, it was called Kaunas Medical University Kaimu, but now it has another name. Finished my general medicine studies in Kaunas. As well, I have studied my internship in Kaunas and my specialty as an ENT, ear, nose, and throat disease doctor. Nowadays, I work still in Lithuania and live for another 10 years. During general medicine and our studies, as I mentioned, we were divided into groups, and we were totally separated from the Lithuanians. And mainly, maybe it was because the language barrier between us, because Lithuanians studied in Lithuanian language, but we were divided like even between international students, we were divided into Arabs and Lebanese and the other nationalities in the world, which we didn't like at all. At the beginning, it was 20 years ago, uh, most of teachers barely spoke English or didn't speak English at all. Just few of them who spoke English normally. And for most of them, teaching us in English language was just like for the matter of filling time, money, and they didn't pay attention for all of us. Not, I'm not saying all of them. Some of them were amazing, I still remember till now, but some of them were just a waste of time and money and information. So for us as foreigners, especially our groups, the Lebanese ones, we had to study to make double effort to cover our studies and to cover what the teachers didn't cover for us at that time. As well, for one shortly, I will say one short point. We didn't like the way they used to call us. They used to call us foreigners, Ustinyeche, foreigners. And we were always trying to explain for them we are international students, but just as not foreigners. That's why I was one of three persons of three students who invented the International Student Union, which was called at that time KIMSO, Kaunas International Medical Student Union. And I was one of three who invented the internal law of the union, the constitution of the union, the way of the election of members. Afterwards, I was honor member of this board. And after I left medicine, I knew that the president of KIMSO was a fixed member of the dean in the university to transfer all the foreign problems straight to the dean, not with like not through other members of the dean board at that time. And at the very a big move of us, the foreign students or the international students, we started to make a common events with the Lithuanians and the other international students. And I remember that time by the name of Kimso, we started to make the traditional food night, traditional Arabic music night, traditional, like anything traditional about our culture. But we didn't get any invitations like from the Lithuanians to know more about them. At that time, they were very aware of us. They were very not afraid. I can say they are just taking more attention of us, contacting with us. They were wondering what is our culture, our religion, because they didn't know much about Islam in general, about Arabs and Islam, and they didn't have any ideas about what are we in reality. Yeah, I still remember uh, in 2005, my family came to visit me, My mom is wearing hijab. All of you know what is hijab. At that time, it was something very new in Lithuania. And I remember whenever we went with my mom, they used to stop us to take like souvenir pictures where someone is wearing hijab, going, like. And we used to hear the only word Allahu Akbar, which they don't know what it means. That's one of the point where I remember. I remember quickly. I will say, once police stopped me for speeding, and while he was talking to me, the policeman, I was trying to explain that I'm coming, like going away. No, just getting away. My mom got bored in the car in front of him. He didn't see her at the beginning. She went out to see where I was, why it took me so long. Once he saw my mom with the hijab, he gave me my papers quick, so that's very, very quickly. He said, "Run, run, just go." He forgave me for the speed. He was afraid of my mom wearing the hijab. Okay. One of the main problems, differences we have between our cultures, us, the foreigners, international, whatever naming they gave us, and the Lithuanians themselves is daily habits. We as Arabs and Lebanese, we like after classes meeting, discovering, going out, chilling, restaurants, centers, traveling. It's like, and after we finish the daily events, entertainment, we can say we go to study. The Lithuanians, on the other hand, no, they just run from classes and run so fast home, so they can have their quickly meal, anything just to eat and to study, and then they go out on weekends. And that was also one barrier between us to communicate with each other, to know each other between the Lebanese, Arabs in general, and the Lithuanians. And that's why it was for most of us very hard to have friends, common friends, at the beginning. And while after we started to learn the Lithuanian language, which was the biggest barrier, in my opinion, between any people to communicate and to integrate into each other. And especially after the third year of medicine, we started to have the practical part of medicine. So we were now straight in direct contact with Lithuanians, not with teachers, but with people, with normal people, patients, patients' families, friends, kids, And only then we started to communicate more closely, to try to understand and to make them understand our tradition, our culture, our language, our religion, our habits, our beliefs. And it was a very hard time starting from zero in a new community, which by the time I know a part of it, I want to say we are guilty because in general in Europe and all the Western countries, they have the phobia of us, Islamophobia, and from Arabs especially, not only from Islamophobia in general. And we are trying, and I'm still trying after 20 years, to give the best picture of us, trying to give the good opinions about us, that anyone would remember our communication will say it's not all Arabs are bad, and not all the bad people are Arabs. That is our main goal. I can also say one part of the discrimination or the differences between us, the cultures, the way some of the teachers were treated us as foreigners. Or is it maybe because we were Muslims or we were Arabs? It's hard. It's very hard to understand the way their way of thinking. And we know we had many differences in the evaluation of our knowledge when we were students. Some of the teachers, as I say, not all of them, some of them, they treated us really bad. They they didn't like us. They didn't like the way where we are from or to which country they will belong, to which religion they will believe in, and we could see it. We could clearly understand it and see it. They just didn't want any common part of us. That is one of the bad memories which I can remember, and I wish it didn't happen at that time. So on the other hand, it's also very good to remember the good memories. We had special professors and doctors and people we met during our journey in Lithuania who really felt made us feel like their children, not only the friends and their children, and they really gave us the maximum what they could to make us feel safe, to make us succeed, and to be in a very warm environment. But after living now nearly 20 years in Lithuania, I can say I can see and feel the huge differences in between what how the way we were treated when we were students and now how after we finished. And back to what I mentioned before, it's to get involved into any community, into any culture, integrate with them, communicate with them. The first barrier which you have to move is the language. Once you speak the language, they will look at you in a different way. I'm saying this after 20 years living in Lithuania nearly. I guess it's enough experience to give my opinion and assure about it that I do communicate with them now as one of them, not looking at the religion, at the race, where because once you speak with them, communicate with them, work with them, have every uh, daily common parts with them, they will just pass away that you are Muslim or that you are coming from an Arab countries, from the Middle East or from any other countries, and they will just look at you as a human being, as one of them, because officially, and I can say after a good and hard work and good a lot of effort I have put in my life, and after the God support of success, I am now the first Arab and Lebanese head of department in Lithuania, and I am consulting and working and operating in 5 different hospitals in Lithuania. And I really feel like one of the main team of the hospital. The place where I work, I have been honored few years ago from the municipality as the best health savior of the city. I am the representative of the hospital in the municipality and in the government organizations. As in any community in the world, even if you already you are one of them and you feel you are one main player of the team, you still have this sometimes this strange view of some of them. Why you? Why not me? Because I am the first in the first place. I am one of this country, and we still feel it sometimes. I'm not saying like all the time. And the same way we have it in our cultures and in our communities, it's the same. That's why I understand it, and I just don't stop at it at the moment. At the end, I want to give, after such experience in my life in Lithuania, advice, recommendation, the naming, it doesn't matter. First, for us as Arabs, Muslims, students, for the New Year students in Lithuania or in any new community, try to be honest, be yourself, be clear, seek what you want, show your passion, be a hard worker. Once they see that passion in you, they will believe in you, no matter who you are, from where you came from, what religion you have, what language do you speak. Be a good member of the team. Don't be lazy. Of course, at the same time, work always to speak the same language. Try to understand, to accept the religion as they are. Don't take it personal. It's not being a bad Muslim if you celebrate with them their Christmas, their New Year, make them feel that you care about them, because in that way they will respect your religion, they will respect your beliefs, your events, and it will be a common side, celebrations, understandings, believing, respecting each other. And for Lithuanians, also, I don't know if they will hear my recommendation, especially for universities. Please try to find professors and doctors team who speak language in an easy way so we can communicate easily with each other, and to be a little bit open for foreigners. I really don't want any of the foreign students or international students to have the bad memories which we had when we were students. It was very tough. Nowadays, maybe they have more experience, they are speaking more. It's already 20 years past, but always, I hope they will have the better teams, because each one of you, the students who came here, left behind you your country, family, friends, community, became here to do something, to become successful. Maybe your country didn't give you the opportunity to reach what you want. Try to gain everything you have in this country, the maximum of your power. Don't waste your time. Don't waste any moment of being successful in your life, in your studies, and become a good, positive, active member in the community, with regarding to any religion they are, any language they speak. It's not the big deal. You can learn the language, two languages, three languages. It's not the big deal, and always be honest. Once you are honest, everyone will respect you, and everyone will do the best to help you and to achieve what you came for in this country. One more advice or recommendation, but this time for both of Lithuanians, residents, and foreigners, international students who are here. Try to give both sides effort to integrate with each other, especially understanding the culture and the religion of each other. Uh, don't be afraid of mixing into each other. It will help you to discover each other, to understand, and this kind of communication will push you straight forward, passing a lot of barriers between the both of cultures, no matter from which culture you are coming from. And this advice is for both Lithuanians and the international students. Okay, at the end, thank you all for your time, for listening. I hope it wasn't boring and a little bit helpful for you. Have a nice day.
So I want to thank Dr. Wasim so much for his time, putting his time into recording this video. Um, as I mentioned before, Dr. Wasim is with us, but unfortunately, because of his duty and surgeries and his work in the hospital, he's not able to receive any questions right now. But hopefully, he'll be able to stay with us until the end. So if any one of the participants would like to ask him more about his experience living 20 years in Lithuania. Um, Now we're going to take a 10 minutes break, but before, I just wanted to mention that after the break, we're going to talk about alternative learnings with Mr. Mushrik, and then we're going to have some fun with a Kahoot game. So I hope you guys have the application. If not, you can log in through the website of Kahoot, and we are going to continue in a bit. Just 10 minutes break, and we'll be back. See you soon. again, everyone. I hope you had a good break. Um, Now we're going to proceed with our conference. Uh, as you all know, we have a lot of topics to tackle during this conference, and we're sorry for the camera. Flans decided to chip on it, and then it turned off. So we are trying to invent some new techniques to for me to show during the conference until it works again. Now I'm going to proceed with our next speaker, that is Mr. Mushrik Al-Buslemi. I hope I'm saying it
نعم
right. So our next speaker
البسلامي.
yeah, is a
نعم.
remarkable individual who embodies resilience, creativity, and commitment to learning. Please join me again in welcoming Mr. Mushrik. He's an Iraqi author and poet, a self taught refugee with proficiency in English, Italian, and Dutch, and an Arabic English interpreter. We are truly honored to have you, Mushrik, with us today, sharing your unique perspective on alternative learning within the framework of our virtual conference, again, Migrants' Inclusion in Education System. So, Mushrik's journey is a testament to the transformative power of education, and today he will be sharing insights on alternative learning methods. His talk will delve more into the topic, offering valuable perspective on how alternative learning can be a pathway to inclusion for migrants in the education system. Without further ado, let's turn our virtual stage over to Mushrik. Mushrik, we are eagerly anticipated to anticipate your thoughts on alternative learning and its role in fostering migrants' inclusion in the education system. So, a round of applause to Mushrik. Muhammad, your
Hey,
friend, is
hey.
also welcoming you from behind the camera. So the stage is yours.
Ah, thank you for to having me today. And hey, can you hear me yet now?
Yes, yes, yeah, we can.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Uh, my name is Mushfiq Al Buslemi, and today I participate with you my experience with education about education and about my story. I see I'm not just sharing the experience about education as I call it adventure of education, adventure of life, because uh, I left Iraq in 2018 and I had arrived to Greece. And in this moment, everybody knows there's a difficult time, many difficulties, many Paris. So after I arrived to Greece, I lived in the camp, and the language is Greek language, as everyone know, and is the camp. The people that they live in there in the camp, they are isolated from the society. I faced many difficulties there, but I every single day I try to break up this Paris, not to stop. So in this moment, I discovered mistakes to learn how to learn how to integrate into society and have uneducated chance or uneducated opportunity. I didn't stop in this moment. I start with English language. I had learned English in the school, but it's not enough. It's not enough to get high level in this language. It's not mother language. We need to improve it every day, even though we are in other country or not. So I start to learn English because, as I said, the the society, the refugee society in Greece is isolated because many refugees and the country have no economy and they have no power to focus about these people and invest these people. They let it like this out of control. And in addition to presence of corona, make this price more high, more difficult. People, they don't touch each other, they don't talk to each other, so is exactly isolated more than before in 2019. I tried to make it summary. I tried to give this story fast, but I'm coming in this point because this is my point to how to learn language, how to break up the barriers and move on and up. So in this moment, I said to myself, okay, I'm a teacher, I'm a student simultaneously. Okay, and then I start to learn myself, to teach myself step by step. And I said, I have many mistakes. So I don't need to learn from other mistakes. I have already mistakes. So I can learn from myself to teach myself exactly. And I start, and there's also help from YouTube, from people around me to take advice from me. I get it. I get it, this language, but I need more. This language is not easy. I need more to make it all. So I have found organization from Italy. They make a class and the people and to 2021. In this moment, a little bit Corona less than before. I make touching, I make communicating with them, and but I'm still living the camp. In this moment, I'm still living the camp. I take advice from them a little bit more, and then I work with them as an interpreter in this moment. I see I need to expand my circle because I see the language is investment for future. Is maybe this moment okay? I'm just learning language and more time. I waste my sorry, not waste. I spend my time about this language because I believe this language will be investment for future. Why not? In this moment, just I don't go to party, I don't go to enjoy in the society because it's just isolated, and I learn, just learn. So I this investment is it true? Is coming because I start to work as an interpreter with the Italian organization, and 1 or 2 hours, 3 hours translating. So I made it in this moment. I see to expand my circle, the qualification, not just English, because something is passion, is something start to passion and take me over to learn more. And I see this language is not just is a human investment. Is maybe I will get a chance in other country. Why not to learn Italian? And Italian, they are friendly people. Uh, and I start to a little bit, come stai, ciao bella. So, and they give me a little bit, and they have work. They are not. They are busy to work, and they are volunteer. And me too. I am busy. So uh, I give just to hear, just to take a little bit words from them, and then. After 4 years, I get my document, and then I said, okay, in this moment is enough in Greece country. I need other country to, because you know, if you play in the for a football, you need uh, a participant, you need other players to shot the foot to you, because if you shot the football out, football not count. It need other player. I mean, in this example, I from my side, I'm just alone to play. I need other person to play with me. Language is exchange. Give, I I take, I give. You give, I will take. So is this is a humanity things. So I decided to leave Greece and come to Germany. And in this moment also, I lived in the camp. Is as really is difficult times. It's difficult. So I say, okay, I have learned from my mistake. I can't to learn Germany with Italian and with because I have a friend from Italy. He's Lorenzo. He's Italian. He said you cannot learn German and Italian simultaneously in the same time. I said, okay, why not? I'm enjoying this language. Why not? Because I in the reality I feel hopeless, and I need to to make hope in my mind, in myself, as investment, as learning language, I many things, to not to feel empty. I need to fill my time, because if I let a little space in my time, I will feel exactly hopeless and depressed. I learn too much every single day together. But now I learned German, and after 10 months, I start to get a chance in a school, in academy school, to learn officially German language. And now my German language more strong than Italian, because my reality is German, and sometimes is an influence in my tongue too. Sometimes I speak with my friends by English and a little bit. By the way, I'm scared to speak with you about this experience, and I'm scared about language German to influence and count in my tongue. So I made it, but I'm still in the middle of the road. I need, because the road is open. I need to is not okay in this moment, and I stopped. Language is language. You need to improve it. You need to read literature. You need to see videos by English. It is in your mother language. You need to, because if your mother language, if you don't listen to your mother language and communicate by your mother language, you will forget some words in mother language. It happened with me personality. I spend a lot of time to learn English, to communicate by English. Sometimes I need to catch up in Arabic language. I forget. This is normal, because we are human. We have a brain, and sometimes we forget. I mean, in this moment, we need keep going. We need to keep going in language. It doesn't matter with language that you have, even though with your mother language, even though eh, with the other mother language, with the other foreign language, you need to keep going, because if you don't keep going, you will forget. By which way you can you keep going? By reading literature, or listening to music, relaxing, uh, communicate with people. And by the way, I want to mention about language. Language is not just language, is input and output. I mean, input. You need to put the language in your mind. By which way? By hand writing, by listening, hearing, going into your ears inside. You need to input the language by eyes to look how to write the words, because it's memory. Eyes, ears is memory, hand is memory, to put this language into our mind. Then is output. The language is output from where? From our mouth. From our mouth is coming from here to make uh, uh, pronounce okay, good, perfect. You is coming here and go from here directly. So, and this things is happened with me. I have learned. I have discovered these things by myself, and just books, reading, communicate with people, and I believe in one day this language it will be a wonderful investment for the future, because without language you cannot to communicate for a love, you cannot communicate for your right, human rights. I felt that. For example, Dama and the other person participator, he said about these things, about difficulties in this language in these countries. Yeah, I feel it. It happened with me, by the way. It happened with me, but only way I need to break it up by language, because if I don't have language, I will lose my rights. Really, I remember this moment. I was in the camp, and this is not far away. It happened before 1 month. I went to camp, and then I said to him, "Then I need bishait. It's meaning certificate that I was here, and I need this to give it to asylum office." And I read this paper by Dutch language. I felt I read it. Something weird is not right. The speech is not right. It's not official. Is something weird. I came back to her. I said to her, please, can you change this word? Because this word is against me. What's going on is this word? She changed it. And then she gave me a second paper, and I have read it. And this is not exactly, I have lived in this camp since 1 year. Okay, and I need this certificate that improve that my situation, I improve that I lived here again exactly. And but the text is not exactly. If I give it to office, they will say, oh, where we were, where are you when this time? You that mean if I give it to them, they will use it against me. And in the third time, she changed it. I felt in this moment without language, I'm lost. I will be lost here in this country. So every day, sometimes I get stress from language. I get stress from society, because it's normal when you live in the city and many things happen to you is stress, and the language is difficult. But we have time to take we said in Germany pause. Pause it mean pause in English, or you need to take rest and then continue in a language. So it really it's a good adventure of education, and uh, and good investment. Is a humanity investment, and the language is wonderful. And it doesn't matter by your mother language you communicate or by foreign language. All these things is language. Exactly is language, and we don't fear. We must not. We should not feel something weird in this language because it's a humanity things and good investment.
So, Mushrik, thank you so much. Your
Thank
speech
you.
was amazing. I just have few questions because it's really
Yeah.
interesting what you were saying and all your experience and going through a lot of cultures, countries, basically. And you mentioned that you learned, and as I know that you learned Italian, English, and German, like Dutch, on your own. So first you went to Greece, and you were learning there also. So did the country that you were going in, like whether it was Greece or Germany, were they not like providing classes, education, language classes, so that you had to learn it on your own, or what was happening?
It's a good question. Thank you. In Greece, it's I said it's out of control. The government they don't pay attention for refugees there. We are isolated in camps, and it's something disgusting, really. If you see, if I show you the photos, what happened there is disgusting and
Mm-hmm.
shame. Uh, there's there are organizations from Italy, from by the way, we have no right, we have no access to study in school in Greece, even though the children they was suffering there without schools. It's difficult, and Europe leaders they knows that. And what do you think about other people that adult people we didn't access
Mm-hmm.
to study in school. We need to learn by ourselves. But there's organizations from Europe, from Italy, Switzerland. They come to Greece and they work as a volunteer. They give they give to refugees, the immigrants, some help, and this help not just language, the class language, also food. Um, uh, Many things, but is limited because they don't have a big power to give these people. They try, and how much they try. I went with them, I worked with them, and I had seen the situation how much is difficult. I have seen the how the volunteers they cry, they cried about this situation. So I didn't get a chance to learn in school or in university in Greece to continue my studies in university. I didn't get this chance really. 4 years, my work is self work alone with help with organization in Greece, some help a little, and I made it. Then I came to Germany. I suffered in the camp. I didn't get a chance because unfortunately it's here the situation is difficult, especially the Ukraine. They come to Europe, to West Europe, because the war there, and many refugees make it more than difficult. But I had tried and I did it. I said, okay, I have right to study language officially, because in this moment I felt I'm in the here. I need to continue not by myself. I need to continue by school, by officially. I speak English. I speak other language, but okay, I speak German, but I need official. I need papers because here in West Europe you need everything paper for your qualification. If okay, they don't care what you studied or what they need a paper. So after 10 months in a camp, in Germany camps, I sent many letters to the asylum office. Hello, can you see me? I need to study language. Here I am. Send it, brochure, and then they sent me the permission to study in academy land. So to get a high level in German language. It's not easy. The world is not easy. You need to fighting to move on until to get it, because nobody come to you and I said, hello, what you want? You need language, habibi? I give you this language. They don't make this. Selfish is exist. Human beings is they have love, but they have also selfish. You need to say, I need my right. I need to study. Because if you don't say this, they don't give it to you. The government or people, it doesn't matter. All the people, they are people. The government, they are people because they don't come out from other planet. They are people. They make fart. They say it as us. We need to say to we need to take our rights. Nobody give you your right without to talk, without to say it. Hello, I need my right. Without these
This
things, nobody. Yeah.
is absolutely right. I want to thank you again, Mushrik. Your
Mm.
experience was very like enlightening. It really enlightened our conference. We are glad and honored to have you here.
Thank you.
And you like the things that you went through were amazing. Like how you reacted to everything that happened was amazing, despite all the difficulties and the obstacles that you were going through. But like I can see the confidence that you have, that you want a better life, and you want to be treated equally as anyone else. So I want to thank you once again.
Thank you. Yeah.
And if anyone
Th-
have any question, yes, sure. You want to say something?
no, thank you. I
Oh,
just maybe I want to say something. Yeah,
sure.
I want to say الحياة هو ما تفعله الآن. I mean, life is what you're doing right now. So, uh, yeah.
Okay, can you say it in
Yeah.
Dutch and Italian and Greek and English? You said it in English anyway.
Yeah, in Italian they said tutto brodo, tutto fa brodo. That mean everything makes sense. In Germany, I said, but not the same sentence.
Yeah.
I changed my sentence.
Mm-hmm.
In German, I said, uh, Beispiel, egal was passiert, du musst
Okay.
immer noch drucken, immer noch machen.
Okay.
That's mean it doesn't matter what happened to you. You need to move on, and you
Okay.
need to make it.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I really appreciate your spirit and like the strength you have, and you're still having until now. And I hope you always have this strength and courage to go through any obstacle that comes in your way. I'm sure you're going to face it and get
Thank
over
you.
it. Thank you so much once again, Mushik, for taking the time to take part in our conference. I hope you stick till the end. If anyone have any question, they can ask you at the end during the Q&A session. Now, it's okay, Muhammad. Now, we're going to play a game that is Kahoot. I don't know how many of you would like to participate in our game. Our communication director, Muhammad Al Amiri, behind the camera, is going to share the screen now. You can press start. Okay. So I hope you enjoy it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's not showing. Yeah, that's not it. No.
You have
Okay.
to choose.
What does anyone know how it works?
You have to choose which mode. So classic
Oh,
mode.
which
Yeah.
more? Yeah, okay, thank you. It's the first time that we do. Like I usually play it, but it's not me. So maybe classic mode, Hamad?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
People.
get ready to join. So this is the pin. You can either scan the code, the QR code that is here, or you can just go into Kahoot website and write down the game pin, and you'll get access to it. Moshik, do you want to play it with us as well?
Uh, I'm not good to play a game. I'm not
Okay, it's
professional to
okay.
play a game. I get advice from friends. They said play. I tried, but every day I fail to play. I'm not a
It's
gamer.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone, even the speakers, if you'd like to participate with us in the game, you'll win a prize at the end. Maybe, maybe not. Just 1 second. 179. So I'm also joining. Let's see who's going to win. Is there anyone else? One, two, three. We're closing. Okay, let's start, Muhammad. فيك تعمل you can put screen هيدا اللي تحت. What's the term for a celebration where people eat delicious food and wear festive attire to mark cultural festivals? Holy fiesta, carnival, potluck party. Hurry up, hurry up. 3 seconds. Two, one. Oh, next. Oh, Dama, here you go. Okay, next question. In which country is the annual running of the bulls celebrated during the San Fermin festival? Wow, everyone. We are all smart. Okay. In the word of language, what is polyglot? A type of flower, someone who speaks multiple languages, an extinct animal, a music instrument. Nice. Which fictional character famously said it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live? Okay, come on, you go, girl. Good job. What does BRB stand for in the context of online communication? And I think everyone knows that. Maybe not. Better read books. Big red balloon. Oh, Egli, you're doing better. Good job. In a futuristic classroom, what might a robot teacher mm, be equipped with? Okay. Magic wand, laser pointer. Good. I'm number one. Which famous actor originally from a Migrant family starred in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean? Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith, Scarlett Johansson. Yay! That was easy. Which historical figure was known for his ability to speak several languages and served as a diplomat in 18th century? Ludwig van Beethoven, Benjamin Franklin, Cleopatra, Marie Antoinette. Nice. I'm not cheating, by the way. Or maybe I am. Which emoji best represents the feeling of success? I don't know what else. Maybe this one? Solving a difficult problem. Which of the following is a constructed language, conlang, created for communication in the TV series Game of Thrones? Elvish, Miniones, Klingon, Dothraki. What quirky language fact is true? Penguins are known to have distinct vocal dialects and communicate by belly slapping, beak clicking, wing flapping, tail wagging. Yay! I'm trying not to cheat. Which superhero character challenges stereotypes and showcase diversity in their background and abilities? Catwoman, Black Panther, Captain America, Superwoman. No, Superman. Who answered? Right. What game or toy encourages creativity and problem solving skills while appealing to children of various backgrounds? Mm, Board game Bonanza, Lego Bricks, Puzzle Paradise, Artistic Play Doh. Diamond! Good job! If you could create a virtual world for learning, what fantastical place would you choose to explore or study in? Enchanted Forest, Galactic Space Station, Underwater Kingdom, Time Travel City. Yay! Lama and me. I didn't cheat. Yay! Round of virtual applause to Simon and Dama. And me, but I cheated. Because basically I wrote everything. I wrote the answers and the questions. So now we're going to proceed with our conference. I hope you guys uh, enjoyed our little game break. And again, we're celebrating the victory of Simon and Dama. Good job. Now we. I wonder if Svetlana is with us still. Okay. Svetlana, I was wondering if you'd like, because we recorded a video of you. You have a recorded video, but I was wondering if you'd like to speak online instead, since you are with us. Well, whichever you'd like, or maybe you'd want them to ask you questions later and then put your recorded video, whichever you'd like.
We can put my recorded video and then somebody can ask questions in case they
So
are.
yeah, sure. So I just want to introduce Svetlana. As I mentioned, that she's going to be our next speaker. Svetlana is not only a talented journalist, but also a resilient soul who has triumphed over challenges with courage and grace. Join me again in welcoming Svetlana. She's a refugee from Belarus in Lithuania and a cancer survivor. We are truly privileged to have you, Svetlana, sharing your remarkable journey and insights in the framework of our virtual conference, Migrant Inclusion in Education System. Let's express our admiration to Svetlana with a virtual round of applause. Svetlana is not just a survivor, but a storyteller. She's currently working in a book that reflects the life of a refugee from Belarus who underwent the trials of cancer in Lithuania. Her narrative encompasses not only her recovery journey, but also touches upon her love life, friendships, and the broader experience of refugees. Today, she will be addressing the topic stereotypes and bullying, offering profound insights into the impact of stereotypes and bullying. So, without further ado, let's delve into Svetlana's powerful narrative through the recorded video that we have. Um, Drawing from her experience and shedding light on the importance of inclusion in education. So we're going to have the recorded video now, and then at the when it's finished, we can ask Svetlana. Of course, I will have a lot of questions, and I can't stick to the Q&A discussion session. Now let's go to the recorded video.
I would like to talk about education for refugees in Lithuania based on my own experience and the experience of other Belarusian refugees. First of all, I would like to say why Belarusian students choose studying abroad. In Belarus, there is a dictatorship since 1994, and after 2020s, after the last elections, Lukashenko became more. This dictatorship became stronger, and many people in Belarus now are under the pressure of Lukashenko's regime, and they are afraid of saying something in public. They are afraid of writing something in the internet. That's why many parents don't want their children to study in Belarus after their school. And many parents are looking for possibilities to send their children for studying abroad. The most popular country probably is Poland, also Czech Republic, Germany, United Kingdom are popular among Belarusian students. It is necessary to say that studying in Belarusian universities is full of propaganda and military. It means that students have to go to different meetings for Lukashenko, to stay somewhere as a mass, as a group of people on the hockey, football, and other championships, where especially where Lukashenko's team plays or Lukashenko performs. So that's why it's not much time to study and teach something new. That's why many students don't want to study in Belarusian universities, because they know that instead of studying economics, politics, or foreign languages, they will have to run with guns, because it's a patriotic behavior or something like that. Listen lectures about the Great Patriotic War, and the lectures that all West, European Union, United States are bad, and only Lukashenko and Putin are good. Oh my God. And it is necessary also to mention that prices for studying in Belarusian universities are extremely high, even higher than, for example, in Poland, in Germany, in Netherlands. Some time ago, one Belarusian media, independent media, published a guide where prices in Poland and in Belarusian universities were compared, and it turned out that Belarusian universities are much more expensive. Besides, after Belarusian university, studying in Belarusian university, a student has to work mandatory for government. Most often, they have to work in very small towns, villages, where there is no infrastructure like roads, big shops, or and I don't even say about opportunity to do sports or opportunity to have a rest, because there is really no opportunity. And this point also makes Belarusian students to choose studying abroad. But after 2020, and especially after 2022, when Lukashenko supported Russia in the war in Ukraine, Belarusian students have many problems with entering European universities. For example, I know that in Czech Republic, Estonia, some universities refused to take Belarusian students for education, for studying, and some countries didn't extend visas or residence permits for Belarusian students, and it is also very very sad, because many Belarusian students are threatened by Lukashenko's regime, and if they return to Belarus, they will be caught by police and put into prison. Also, I would like to say that during last months, Lukashenko practically forbade Belarusian students to work, to study abroad. For example, many European universities require 1 year or 2 years of Belarusian university before entering them. And young men, for example, they at the age of 18, they have to go to the army, mandatory, and learn how to protect Lukashenko and regime, but no other things. That's why many young men have to leave Belarus before they turn 18 and return only after 27 years old, to not to be in Belarusian army, because Belarusian army, you know, it's dangerous place, and even during service, young people can die, and many of them are afraid that one moment Lukashenko will say, okay, you guys will go to Ukraine and protect Russia from Ukrainian Bandera or something like that. And everybody understands that not many Belarusian guys will return home after this. Many of them will just die in Ukraine. There are, after 2020, many Belarusian people became refugees, because in Belarus they could be imprisoned. So that's why they have chosen to go to another country like Lithuania, Poland. They're more popular the most popular countries. Also, some of them went to Germany, Sweden, Latvia, Estonia, Czech Republic, and other countries. But most of people, Belarusian refugees, are now living in Poland and Lithuania. And of course, they, especially students, have to choose where to study after the after the school. And in Lithuania, they face problems actually. For example, to finish the school and get the attestate, Belarusian students, Belarusian pupils have to learn Lithuanian language as native in 1 or 2 years. And after passing the exam, they can enter the university. But they can't. It's impossible to study Lithuanian language as native in just 1 or 2 years. Maybe 5 years, it's okay, but not 1 or 2 years for such a difficult language. And that's why Belarusian people, Belarusian diaspora have asked several times, may the Seimas or educational committee do something for with this, because maybe Belarusian children can just receive like okay, you know, but it's not necessary. You don't need to pass the exam like native speakers of Lithuanian, or I don't know, any variants to do the life of Belarusian future students in Lithuania easier, because they can't even finish the school without this exam. And also we have such a kind of problem that many Lithuanian organizations don't know what to do with people who have refugee documents. Refugee documents means that you don't have Belarusian passport, because sometimes it can be finished, sometimes it can be taken by KGB in Belarus, and people come to Lithuania without any pass at all. And after receiving refugee status, they receive also a residence permit for 5 years, and not residence permit for 5 years, but residence permit for all time. But this card has date or has term or only 5 years. But after they can continue this term if nothing changes. And they have also refugee travel document, which is considered as passport. But when you come to bank with this document, people can say, "What is this? We don't know. Please show us your Belarusian passport. But how can we show Belarusian passport if we don't have Belarusian passport? It's very strange. And in universities, it's my experience. I have been thinking about studying in Lithuania for about a year and a half. And last year, I have written to several Lithuanian universities and asked, I have this and this document. I'm a Belarusian refugee. How can I enter their university in Lithuania? From one university, I didn't have an answer at all. From the second university, they told, we don't know. Probably you must you must enter like Belarusian student. But come on, I'm not Belarusian. I'm refugee. I'm Belarusian refugee. And even in this travel passport, it is written that in my nationality, it is written that I'm a refugee. So how can I enter as a Belarusian student? It's really very complex thing. Maybe because they face these things not very often. But anyway, I think that they must be prepared for such situations because it can. Because facing with these things, Belarusian people can think, oh, probably I will live without any education. I will just work somewhere, and that's it. But I don't think it's fair. And also another problem is that now, especially after Russian invasion in Ukraine, many Lithuanians are angry with Belarusians, especially with those Belarusians who don't know Lithuanian, who can't speak Lithuanian very well. Sometimes they even require, please talk to me Lithuanian. Okay, maybe they also have right to say this because Russia is aggressive country, and Lithuanian language will help them to understand that we are not occupants. We came because we have problems in our country. We came to Lithuania and we are under Lithuanian protect. But anyway, maybe because of this situation, Belarusian students, Belarusian people also think that they can live without university education. And if they want, they will not enter the university because they will think, oh, maybe this, maybe teachers there will think that I'm from occupant country, I'm from a dictatorship regime, and they will think about me as a person from this country, not think about student like a student, but only about the student according to the color of his past. And also one more treatment that is also very important is that Belarusian diaspora in Lithuania is regularly attacked by Lukashenko's KGB. It's really a fact that, for example, I am now a witness on one such criminal case where a Lithuanian man, came to one Belarusian organization and started threatening unprotected women, especially women, refugees, that they will be deported to Lukashenko's regime, they will be caught by Lithuanian forces and will be imprisoned and something like that. And many Belarusian women were threatened and went to police, and this man is now under the judgment. And I can't say that we have only one such experience. Unfortunately, no. Very often, people from Belarus say that somebody strange is following them, or somebody is writing them comments that they will be found by Lukashenko's KGB, and Lukashenko's KGB will kill them. And in Lithuania, it's really many people in Lithuania are really afraid, because even I on the street can see many cars with Belarusian plates and with Belarusian flags. I mean, red and green flag, not white, red, white. So that's why Belarusian students, potential students who can be students in Lithuania, they choose to go to other countries like Germany, Netherlands, United Kingdom, USA, where Lukashenko's KGB will not touch them, will not definitely touch them. It's very hard topic actually, because I was also under the pressure of such men who told me that I will be arrested in Lithuania and Lithuanian police will drop me on the border, on the Belarusian border, and then I will be imprisoned. So that's really difficult to talk about it. In conclusion, I would like to say that Belarusian people want to study, want to be useful in European Union, want to work in European organizations, and they really are they really good, they hardworking, they are talented, and such situations like this situation with security, with human factor, I don't know, with Lithuanian people who are not kind to Belarusian, who are not, who don't, who can say Belarusian people something bad. It's really, it really makes Belarusian students to refuse education, refuse their dreams, and just to work as I don't know, seller in mass market, or in cleaning, in somewhere like not very paid job, or choose another country, but they could have stayed in Lithuania and be useful in Lithuania. I would like to talk about
So, Svetlana, thank you so much for all what you were saying. I see that you've been through a lot of obstacles, being a refugee here and being a cancer survivor as well. I hope everything is going well with you right now. I just wanted to ask you, from your experience and everything that you've been through and everything that you overcame, what's your advice for the people, especially Belarusian refugees and other refugees in general, who are coming to a new country and a different culture, with such a background? Like, it can be, I know most of the refugees have really tough experience having to leave or fleeing their country and going to a new country. So, what's your advice to the people, to the refugees who are now maybe in Europe, or who are going to be refugees maybe in the future?
Uh, the first is that I want to advise is not to be afraid, because most people in other countries are ready to help, especially in government organizations, and they will try to, if they can't help, they will try to say what way should we use, what to do, and to whom should we contact, who can help. The second is to be careful about your health, like psychical, both psychical and physical, because it's very important. If you have good health, you can do everything. And if you don't have good health, it can be very um, very difficult to think about other situations in your life and create decisions, and work, study, and do something else. And the third thing is probably maybe related mostly to Belarusian refugees. If you don't want to do something, you can not do it. So you can ask yourself, what do you want? If you want if you want to relax, it's okay. If you want to study, it's also okay. If you want to work in a new profession, it is also okay. You don't have to think about what other people will think. Maybe they will be mad because I'm not staying with white flag near Seimas or something like that. No, it's not mandatory to stay somewhere with white flag if you don't want to do it. You are free. You are in a free country, and you can do everything you want. So probably that's it.
Thank you so much, Svetlana. I hope you stick to the end, and I hope the participants, if they have any question to you, they can ask you more during the Q&A session. Thank you so much, Svetlana, again for all your experience, and we all wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
Now we're going to welcome our next speaker. And it's with my great pleasure that I would like to welcome Nadejda. I hope I'm saying the name right. She's a visionary educator and a change catalyst who is at the forefront of shaping the future of learning. Her journey from a small Russian speaking community to pioneering educational initiatives in Denmark and Lithuania is truly remarkable. Nadezhda's narrative is a tale of exploration, discovery, and a profound commitment to educational innovation. After growing up in a small village, she embarked on a transformative journey that took her to Denmark. For the past 11 years, she has immersed herself in the culture, embodied diverse perspectives, and harnessed the power of education to bring about positive change. Having realized the life challenging potential of education during her time in Denmark, Nadezhda recognized the need for continuous evolution in the way we approach learning. Her belief that a drop in the ocean can create lasting ripples of change led her to work with Innovators Valley, where she leads the first ever full Kai school in Lithuania. Today, Nadezhda joins us to share her visionary insights on the future of learning and the alternative learning and non formal education, with a keen eye on emerging trends and an innovative spirit. She will explore how we can navigate to the evolving landscape of education to better prepare individuals for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. So let's all welcome Nadejda. I hope I'm saying the name right.
You're saying it brilliantly, and thank you for this extensive, magnificent introduction. Unexpected. I wrote 2 sentences.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's really beautiful. I'm very humbled, and it's a great pleasure to participate. I didn't get a chance to listen to all the speakers, just glimpses here and there, but general content seems to be super needed, relevant, and it's great that you managed to gather all the people. So yeah, as you mentioned, I come from a small village with a Russian-speaking background. Here in Lithuania, it's called Visaginas, and I think just to kind of summarize what you were saying from my own words, I ran away from Lithuania at 18 years old, being angry, being not feeling part of this country, of this ethnicity, of this identity. And now 11 years later, I'm coming back to kind of redefine it a little bit and after meeting lots of people around the world and learning that, you know, identity doesn't need to be narrowed down to language or the location where you live or grow up, what your family speaks, and so on and so forth. So yeah, rediscovering, definitely, and I'm very happy to do it in collaboration with Innovators Valley, which is working so closely with the institute. And yeah, today the idea is to share about the little thing that we are doing, little big thing in the ocean, I'm hoping. And I will share a screen, and just 1 second. I hope everybody can see it. I don't know if there like is a sign, or you can tell me that everything is going well.
Yeah, everything is going well. Can see it.
Great. So yeah, I will try to be very short, but also as objective and to the point as possible. And hopefully, if there is space afterwards, just you can ask whatever questions there might come up. As for me, you can also ask on the way, but I understand that online format might be a bit difficult with that. So I'm up for everything. The first folk high school in Lithuania. And yeah, of course, folk high school, it's we are talking about education, and we are talking about changing education, starting from the bottom, from the roots, from the grassroots. And of course, it would be important to set a little fundament. What is this folk high school concept? Very shortly, dryly saying, it's coming from Scandinavia. It started in Denmark more than 170 years ago. It's non-formal education model. The sole aim of it is to have experience-based learning, which aims at training comprehensive skills, complex social skills, soft skills. And such schools are non-formal in a way that they don't have exams, diplomas, and like all the formalities. But they live communally. They create education together, teachers, students, directors, contributors. And their main goal is to develop personal values and competencies of those who come to study at such schools. And of course, in Denmark, if you imagine this format exists for 150 years, 170 years, and it's really deep. It's a fiber of the society. It's a very deep part of the culture. While in Lithuania, we had a very different history, very different development for both our education and culture. And our motivation with our folk high school is not to copy paste something from another reality, another cultural, political, social background, but to bring the values and the methods of such schools and adapt and reform them into what our society here and people who live in Lithuania might need. Right now, the first pilot version that we started is a 4-month program, which focuses on 4 pillars: community leadership, social innovation, lifelong learning, and ecology. And it's possible because we wrote an application and got funded by Active Citizen Fund, for whom also this objective seemed relevant, and they are a Scandinavian fund. So I think, yeah, here we hit few nails on the head, trying to bring the model that is so cherished by them and so well practiced by them into our society, into our culture. And if I would summarize the vision mission of our school, it would be with this one sentence. Because, you know, we like nowadays you need to put everything in one sentence if you want to bring a message. So the message would be that for non-formal learning ways, we'd like to empower citizens to become brave and passionate leaders and innovators who can bring positive change into society. And on this note, the vague visionary missionary things will finish. I promise to give you some more details, because I know, like, sweet fluffy pink great things, they sound great, but sometimes it's too much of that and we think, okay, but how do we actually do that? So how do we actually do that is in that little place where the green arrow points, in a small village of Lithuania in Antaliepte, which is around 2 hours right from Vilnius, our capital, where Innovators Valley is situated is a historically, naturally beautiful place, national park, old and cherished nature, very calm. And Innovators Valley for already quite some years doing cultural youth projects, art projects. So we are not starting from zero. It actually stems from the values and the practices of Innovators Valley. So we just needed to kind of, come on that fundament, bring the people in, and give them a little bit of goals, structure, and support to start our folk high school. And what we do is for months, yeah. So we started this August, end of August, and we are finishing, as you see, on December 17th. So like very, very, very soon, we will finish our first pilot program. And our program consisted of 5 modules. So a module is like from 2 to 3 weeks period of time, has like a common theme throughout all these 2 or 3 weeks. The first module was The World is Our Classroom, where we got the chance also to travel slowly. With minibuses, we traveled to Denmark and back, which took us 2 weeks. The second module, Think Global, Act Local, where we got the chance also to use our experience, also use experience of what we get the information from around the world, and try to find ways to apply it in our local community around ourselves and create change with the things that we can touch and actually realize. Third module was Europe and Global Lithuania, was also just of us a little bit to build bridges, to realize what does it mean to be a creator in these times, and how to network, how to gather resources, offer value, and seek even funds and connections and so on. Fourth module was named to be a community, where we dive deeper into what does it mean for us as a school, which is 16 participants and a few mentors, to be a community in our small reality in the village of Antalipti, to be a community in Lithuania, in the world. So we were cross-sectioning and diving into such topic. And right now we are in the second half of our last module, which is Innovators Project. And the title of this project is Empowerment of Non-Formal Education. They chose it completely by themselves, as the students of the school are the running forces, the guiding forces of the project. So basing on their interest, on their skills, and on their wish to contribute to the society around them, they decided to 2 weeks to dedicate to practical actions, theoretical actions, and now today actually a final event. So empowerment of non-formal education took format of visits in 3 youth centers or art residences. One of them was Antalipti Innovators Valley. So where we did some practical things, we helped out the organizations where they needed help. We also made an effort to connect them, and today we invited a bunch of young people from all of these places to enjoy non-formal education, to create a network, and have a playful day, and hopefully like form a long-lasting connection which can play its role in the future in their lives. So those were like the building blocks of our program. And another part that is also was a big contribution to how our education was shaped. We had subjects, so some schools have maths and English and geography. We had the 6 subjects that we studied and analyzed and worked with. So big issues of our time: ecology, environment, community and leadership building, public communication, contemporary and future Europe, and open future. So these subjects, they are not aiming to kind of have a theoretical knowledge about the topic, a little bit of that, but you can see a very weird abbreviation, DMM. So what we follow in our school, and we are trying to adapt to exactly our Lithuanian needs and reality, is the didactics of modern method, which is basically an idea that education should always be actual and respond to the reality of a learner. And the way we are making it into the way we are practicing is by combining three things: courses, experiences, and studies. So what do courses mean? Courses for us is invitation of experts and lecturers who can contribute. They're not teachers, they are not professors from universities, they are people who are passionate about what they do. They are professionals in their own field. They're working with marketing, they're working in social fields and political fields, and we invite them to our school for an hour, a day, or two, or even three, to share with us their skills, their reasons to be working, their challenges, so we can both create a network of people who are doing great stuff and make things happen, and learn something about their professional skills and possibly get inspired to use them in the future. So yeah, we had politicians, we had people who work with journalism and ecology, we had people's people's library, human library. I'm so sorry, I was got out of my head, where we basically use all kind of different possibilities to get inspired and get knowledge from the people, not only from texts and books and internet sources where we have excess of that. Experiences is the idea that everything that we hear, everything that we learn, that we read, we should put to practice. So, for example, maybe jumping a little bit to studies, we do try to encourage our students to learn new things, to read new articles, to watch some interesting documentaries, to acquire new knowledge, but not with a sole purpose of just having new knowledge, but learning something that you could try to use. So if you are learning about some new pedagogies, we are trying to use it in the school. If you are learning something about climate change, you are trying to either teach it to other people and show them that it's important, or try to put it to life around your community, for example. So just two examples that I wanted to share with you from our studies, how they look like. So one of the examples is from the subject, the open future. And the title of the task is using utopia as a tool for transformation. And the goal of this task is to study and discuss how could we use the concept of utopia not as a goal, but as a tool in thinking and acting. So students have such a task every week almost, where they dive into topic, they work with some sources, they work with some professionals, they with their own ideas, their own understandings, they work in a group discussing, creating maybe games, maybe discussions or debates among each other, and eventually try, even in that week or somewhere in the course of the program or the module, apply this knowledge that they are generating for learning about the topic. And another example is a subject is big issues about time, with the topic research a global issue. There, the task was to learn about a global issue, make a course to each other inside of the group, and discuss why is it important to learn and teach about. Yeah, so again, it's very open. Each student had a chance to choose something that is crucial, important, worrying them. Maybe they find it very, or maybe they haven't never heard about an issue and they want to dive into it and learn about it. They chose such topics. They went out meeting people, researching on the internet, and brought back their small research to the group and shared what they have learned and why do they think it's important for us as a group, as a society. Yeah, and actually this is more or less the structure, the idea. The idea of such a school is to learn inside of a community by building a community, not about what it is and what values community should or should not have, but actually live together, create celebrations, solve everyday conflicts and problems, where the socks should be and who should wash or dry their things, and what does it mean clean sink or clean kitchen. Even small trivial things like that, they definitely give people, teach people the patience, and teach people that community is a very complex thing, is a very valuable thing, because we definitely see that believe, I don't know, that as humans we are social creatures. We are seeking community. We want to be connected to other people, to be accepted, to be loved, to be seen, to be heard, and to be free to express ourselves. And it's a very complex skill and competences to have, to be able to live in the community, to create community, to lead maybe the community towards something. And I think our this pilot program, experimental program, was definitely intense, and it was not always smooth because nobody has ever done it, and I have never done it as a mentor in this program. So there was a lot of trial and error and a lot of checking in, a lot of communication with the students. Like, is this how you want to do it? Should we change the course? Should we add? Should we deduct something? But I do think right now, looking at them leading the non-formal education day for the youngsters, I do see that they strive to create community not only for themselves but for others. They recognize that it is difficult. It is damn difficult, and with that comes appreciation and humility, humbleness towards what does it mean for us. So I think it's certain developing also certain empathy that we cannot just take it for granted that our society should be, everything should function just because we have some laws and we have a constitution which looks great, but it's actually a work of every individual to build community around themselves. Ta-da! And I'm hoping I fit in my time. I actually didn't track it because it didn't
You
start
did
where.
great.
But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing about Innovators Valley. Actually, I've been to the monastery like a couple times during trainings in Antalya. It's amazing to see all these people getting together from different backgrounds, different parts of Lithuania, and doing such amazing things. The project itself is amazing, and I hope we get to meet as well in the future. Thank you so much. You were a great addition to our conference. I really enjoyed your presentation and all the information. So I want to thank you so much again, Nadejda.
Thank you too. Thank you for invitation and putting it
Thank
together.
you. So now, now we're going to uh, to go to our next topic, that is language barrier. It is my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. She's actually with us in the conference, but I don't think she's going to be able to speak because she have work. So she recorded a short video for us on her experience. Um, Esther Fanella. She's a dedicated advocate who has woven her passion for archaeology into a compelling journey addressing the challenges of language barrier. Hailing from Italy, Esther has been a resident of Lithuania for almost 4 years now. Her story began with a short term volunteering project focusing on the renovation of a 17th century monastery, a project that not only ignited her archaeological curiosity but also led her to a deeper exploration of the impact of language barriers within our community. As a fresh graduate in archaeology, Esther's initial interest lay in the practical aspects of her field. However, the experience opened her eyes to the broader challenges faced by individuals dealing with language barrier. What started as an archaeological journey has evolved into a passionate advocacy for breaking down linguistic walls. Choosing to extend her stay, Esther seamlessly transitioned from a short term volunteer to a vital member of our community. Today, she not only contributes her archaeological expertise, but also serves as a bridge, helping individuals overcome the hurdles posed by language differences. Today, Esther will share her insights and experience on the critical topic of language barrier, breaking down walls. Her unique journey from a newcomer grappling with a new language to an advocate fostering inclusion offers valuable perspective that resonate with our conference theme, migrants' inclusion in the education system. With a fervent commitment to inclusivity, Esther Fanella exemplifies how an individual's journey can become a catalyst for positive change. Please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Esther as she addresses the crucial issues of language barriers in our diverse communities. So, let's go.
Hi, I'm Esther. I'm from Italy. So I've been living in Lithuania for almost 4 years. And I came to Lithuania for a short-term volunteering project about the renovation of the 17th century monastery that we have here in Antalipte. At that time, I just graduated from university in archaeology, so I was very interested in the project, in the practical job. But then I felt in love with the environment and the social work, so I stayed longer. For 1 year of volunteering, and then I end up to work here in the same organization that I was performing the volunteering service for. When I came here, actually, I didn't even know English. I didn't know how to speak in English, but in 1 month of short term, I was able to make a conversation. So. I think I should mention that I'm not just in Lithuania, but I'm based in a very small village of 250 inhabitants in the Zarasei region. So here the people don't know how to speak in English. So once I overcome with the first language barrier of English language, let's say I needed immediately to understand how to communicate in a language that was very far from my background. So for me, it was very complicated because I'm coming from a totally different language structure, and so I was also looking at other international volunteers that I met here, and most of them were able also to speak in Russian, and so people of Lithuania could understand them. But let's say it was frustrating, but this gave me more motivation to start to speak. So I started to take Lithuanian lesson when I was still performing the volunteering, but without any success. Probably because I was still learning English. But then also during my first year of job, I started to take other Lithuanian lessons and to start to understand the structure and the grammar. But I understood that the only way to learn this crazy language was actually to start to speak it. So let's say during these 4 years, the third one was the most difficult one because um, I had a feeling that I could understand most of the things that the people were telling me, but I was not able to answer. Moreover, there are workers here in the organization that are not speaking in English. So during the third year, uh, I had a lot of pressure, let's say, and some of them was telling me like how much time you are already here, how you cannot know Lithuanian language. So I remember that one day I just exploded, and even without recognizing it, I started to verbally fight with one of them in Lithuanian language. So this put an end about these language complainings, but mostly gave me the confidence to start to speak and to don't care if my Lithuanian was perfect or not. So now I can speak a basic Lithuanian, and most of the people understand that I'm a foreigner, because yeah, Italian accent it's pretty strong in every language, but it's nice when they start to ask, where are you from, and when they understand that I'm trying to communicate, then it's very nice feeling, let's say, with them. Um I can say that the hostile behavior gave me actually the motivation and was the reason why I speeded up my knowledge about the language, and but because it was always like that for me. So when someone is telling me that I'm not able, or that I'm not reaching enough the point, then it gave me more. I put more energy and more effort to demonstrate to them and to myself that it's actually not true. So I would say that if I would perform my volunteering in Vilnius, probably my Lithuanian would be still very rudimental, and but because I came here, so this gave me a bit, the pressure to speed up, because I needed to survive, let's say. And yeah, thanks to that, now I can say that I can speak a bit, not everything, but I'm happy with that. So I would say that language barrier it's something that is very uncomfortable most of the time, and it's not easy at all, especially if it's a language that is very far from our root of language, but it's also a very nice opportunity to prove ourselves and to try to go out from our comfort zone. So I would say that language barrier it's a very nice challenge, a personal challenge for each of us. Thank you.
So I want to thank Esther so much for taking the time and recording this video about her experience. So I know Esther is with us, but I'm not sure if she can pop and say hi because I know she's at work and she's busy. That's why she wasn't able to join. Yeah, here she is. Hello.
Hello.
Hi Esther, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm following the conference. Very interesting, actually. So,
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you like it. So
yeah.
I really want to thank you again for taking the time and recording this video. It's a great addition to our conference and like the battle that you've been going through and how you overcame it is amazing.
hmm Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Not. It was not easy, as I said, but
Mm-hmm.
as I also said in the end, I think it's a great challenge, like a personal challenge that each of us should experience at least once in a lifetime, because it's really proving our skin, let's say.
Uh-huh. So I really want to thank you again, and thanks for having taking the time to join us. Now I know you are busy in Antalya trainings, so thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I actually want to say that like the closest topic to my heart is language barrier because myself, I actually went through something like Esther's story. I was in Brazil from mid 2020 to mid 2022 to mid 2023. So it was a year. And oh God, Brazil is a really nice country, but then I don't understand Portuguese. I speak English and Arabic, and it took me so much to learn. I actually was learning Portuguese for 7 months, but I wasn't confident enough to speak to other people. I started understanding what they were saying, but I still wasn't confident. Thankfully, or maybe unfortunately, I couldn't fight with anyone, so that I, I get the confident like Esther. But yeah, like I can say that Google Translate became my best friend in Brazil. It still is, even in Lithuania. But the differences between Brazil and Lithuania is that in Brazil I barely found anyone who speaks English. But in Lithuania, there's a lot more international people here. So mostly everyone that I meet speaks English. Yeah, and especially Muhammad from the background, he's saying that maybe because I'm in the center, I'm in Vilnius, so that's why there's a lot of international people here. So thanks again, Esther. Uh, and now we're going to move to our next topic and our next speaker. So, our next speaker is a distinguished figure in the realm of education, renowned for his advocacy and expertise in supporting the educational journeys of refugees and immigrants. Please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Dr. Yaqub Al Jafari, PhD. He's a professor at Augsburg University in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. We are honored to have Dr. Yaqub with us today, sharing his wealth of experience and insights within the context of our virtual conference, Migrants' Inclusion in the Education System. And good morning, Dr. Yaqub. I know it's very early in the morning now. So, Dr. Yaqub's expertise lies in the advocacy of refugee and immigrant students in education. And today he will be shedding light on the future of learning and the experience he's having with through his life and being in the USA and all his education. Drawing from his extensive experience in different countries, his talk promises to offer a comprehensive view to the challenges and trumps faced by migrants in education across diverse global context. Without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Yaqub Al Jafari to the virtual stage. We are really looking forward to your session. The stage is yours.
Thank you. This is such a beautiful introduction
I'm
that
glad.
I did not expect this. But Assalamu alaikum. And yes,
Walaikum salam.
morning. Good morning. Very early in the morning. I told Muhammad, I said, this is going to be really early because I teach at night.
Mhm.
And so my classes are all night. And I tend to stay in bed for a little while because, but
Until
this is
today.
this is all good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here and thank you for the invitation and thank you for shedding light on this very important population that a lot of people don't talk about. Research doesn't really talk about. And if we see a research on this specific population, especially the refugee population, then we're looking at their deficit part. We're looking at their weakness. We're looking at the negative part of this population. But we forget the other part of them, the asset that they bring into our society. So before I delve into this topic, let me introduce myself a little bit in terms of positionality and not the introduction that
Sure.
Sikna
Yeah, sure.
did, but this is in terms of my positionality. Um, I was born in Iraq and I left Iraq when I was 10 years old in 1991. We went to a refugee camp and I was in the refugee camp for 5 years. In the refugee camp, we were in the desert in Saudi Arabia. I was trying to decipher a way to survive and trying to find a way to get out of that camp because it was a scary, scary place. So what I did, I taught myself English. We didn't have schools, we didn't have formal education. I taught myself English, and at the age of 13, I worked for the United Nations. And when I worked with them, they eventually helped me and my family, and they brought us to the United States. I was placed in high school without any questions, without, like, what's your background education? Where is that 5 years of education, that missing 5 years of education? No one asked about this. No one cared. So I felt lost in the system, of course, in the education. Um, so my ESL teacher was the one who knew. She tried to figure out ways. Okay, so there are a lot of stereotypes, right? Especially in the US, in the education system. And back in the 90s, it was a lot worse than today. A lot worse. So, they called me Saddam Hussein. They called me terrorist. They called me, that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. The word refugee means you're a coward. And that's what they refer to. You're a coward. You fled your country. You're a coward. Now, all these stereotypes that started building up, and so I decided to be honest. I decided to get another identity. So instead of being bullied by calling me Saddam Hussein or a terrorist, I started saying I'm actually Mexican because there were a lot of Latinos in our school. And I thought being a Mexican, being a Latino, maybe it's a lot easier, even though Latinos are suffering in their own world too, like being called the job stealers, illegal immigrant, all these labels. But I said, you know what? Being called illegal immigrant is a lot better for me to be called Saddam Hussein. So, I took that identity and I started saying I'm Mexican. That helped me in one thing, though. It helped me learn Spanish. So I am a fluent Spanish, I should say. Um, but again, I was looking for my identity, and I was like, "This is not me. This is not me. I'm somebody else." The school didn't do anything. The school was not prepared to help me. So what I did, I got my education, my master's and my bachelor's in teaching. And then I was teaching all around the world. I started teaching in South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, uh, Costa Rica, and all these places, in Kuwait. I've actually traveled to 120 countries. And the reason why I traveled to these countries is because uh, I wanted to learn about these cultures. I wanted to learn about these people. I wanted to learn about what is that connection between us as a human being living on this earth and what's missing. And I found what's missing. What's missing is that communication and willing to get out of that box and learn about others. The term that scares me the most, and I always tell my students, what scares me the most is I don't want to know what I don't know. That's scary. It's like, leave me. I'm very comfortable in this box. Leave me in that box. So I decided to go and get my PhD in education because I wanted to work more on refugee students. This population that is ignored, this population that, every time I look into the research, I find uh, weakness of refugee students, the psychological problems refugee students bring, uh, the trauma refugee students go through. What happened to the assets? these refugee students bring to our classrooms? What happened to the wealth these refugee students bring to our classrooms? So I wanted to do my research in a different lens, and I wanted to focus on the cultural wealth refugee students bring. And that's what I did. So my dissertation was actually um, about the experiences of refugee students in American high schools through the cultural wealth. And my findings are very important for people to read and very interesting. And I want everybody. I actually just created a course that was approved 3 days ago by our graduate committee. They voted for it, and it's going to be taught at our university next fall. And the course is based on my dissertation, is how to teach refugee and immigrant youth. And I always tell my students, it's not, they're not people who came from a different planet that were looking for different methods of teaching for them. How to teach them means how to include them. Where are they in the curriculum? Are they included in our society? Are they included in our curriculum? Are we, the curriculum developers, the government, this system, are we looking into this population, or they're just numbers? Now we have to, my friends, we have to realize that there's a little difference between immigrant and refugees. I mean, it's very long that I'm gonna make it really short, but immigrants, they come voluntarily to the country looking for better opportunities. Refugees, they have no choice. They flee their home countries because of wars, persecutions, political issues, and environmental issues as well. My focus is on the refugee population that people misunderstand and people think of differently. Um, I know I'm looking at the time. I really want to have at least the last 3 minutes of my time for audience to ask questions, but I want to say something here. I created a club at our university, and the club is called Augsburg Speak Up. Um, and I'm actually focusing on our immigrant and refugee students to come up and speak up and tell their stories, rich stories, full of powers. These stories that empower our people who do not know anything outside Minneapolis, anything outside Minnesota or the United States. So my focus is to bring these people to enrich our society. And just two weeks ago, I had the first event. It was amazing, amazing. A girl from Somalia. And when I want to talk about this, I get the shiver, and I start getting um, I don't know. It's very sad, and at the same time, it empowers me. These that Somali girl talked about her story coming to the United States. A 9-year-old girl fled her home country, Somalia, because of civil war, went to Kenya, lived in a refugee camp, didn't have a chance to live, didn't have an opportunity. What she did, she um, forged a passport and she went to Brazil. And from Brazil, she went to Venezuela. From Venezuela, she went to Central America, starting in Panama to Costa Rica to Guatemala, ended up in Mexico, crossed the border, came to the United States. A 16-year-old girl wearing a hijab by herself, deciphering all of these countries, does not know any word in Spanish or English. That is a brave lady, a brave girl, role model of a Muslim girl. And it broke my heart because nobody ever asked her to tell her story. I was the first one to tell her, this is such an empowering story. Go ahead and tell me that story. Tell these students, tell the audience. And then another girl, She told her story. She's from Mexico. She told her story of how she crossed the river to come as a 7-year-old girl crossing the river with her parents to come to the United States. And then they captured her father and they deported her father. She lived with her mother. It's just, these stories are very heartbreaking. Yet we, as society, we do not care about them. We do not think about them. We do not bring them to the world. My friends, here we have our own problems in education system in our society here in the United States. You guys there in Europe, in Lithuania, and in European countries, you have your own problems. You're trying to include. You are working on including this population, but you still. I read research, and there's a lot of problems, and we gotta overcome these problems. We gotta bring these people. They're not numbers. That's my message. These people are not number. These people mean something. They bring a lot to our community, a lot to our society. Let's find out what they bring. Let's talk to them. Let's approach them. Let's get closer to them. Let's hear their stories. 2 weeks ago, I presented at a conference, an education conference, and my title was Hear Their Stories. And I'm talking about how do we get these stories out? How do we listen to them? That's the only way we can include them, is by listening to them. I don't want to take much of your time. I want to leave at least 1 or 2 minutes for you to ask questions, if any.
Actually, we are like personally, I'm really interested with all what you're talking about, and I can relate because when I was in Brazil, I actually met a friend there. Like, I became friend with a person who came from Afghanistan with his family. His father was killed actually in Afghanistan, and he had to flee to Iran, but it wasn't any better. So he had to come to Brazil, and then in Brazil he applied for refugee status, and then it was better, but then it wasn't the best for his case and what he's been going through with his family. And then he also went through different countries until he reached Mexico, and then he crossed borders with USA, and now he's finally having a better life. But when I talk to him, he's really like everything you're saying. He's saying the same thing. People don't communicate with me. I'm seen here as a refugee, and a refugee, it's like like we know what a refugee means. Like, I didn't bring all the problems to my country. I didn't invent this war in my country. I had nothing to do with that. I'm just a person who had to live with these circumstances. And then he
Mhm.
was born with these circumstances, and a lot of other people as well. In a lot of countries, especially nowadays, like, unfortunately, like, refugees, they are being called not as human beings but as numbers, as you were saying. And the key here, I think, is communication. Like, people need to really communicate with these people, because we are all human beings. Everyone has their own story, their own backgrounds, and their own sufferings and battles that they've been through. And we can't just judge someone because he had to flee their country. No one is happy to flee their country and, like, run away from his home. Everyone wants to be living in their country safely, but then circumstances and, like, things happens, and people have to do that at some point. But unfortunately, yeah, a lot of people tend to treat them like numbers, not like less than human beings, and uh, not like, personally, I'm not a refugee, but I'm Arab, I'm Muslim. Sometimes when I travel, I'm like, I'm from the Middle East, so people look at me like I'm a less human being than they are, just
That's right.
because I'm coming from a different country. But
Mhm.
we are all human beings, so people really need to look to the other person as an equal, Not we are all different, but then we are all equal at some point.
Very true. Very true.
So I'm really glad you're like you have this amazing experience and all what you're saying. Like I think everyone can relate to it, and glad you're mentioning all what you're saying.
Thank you. There's a lot I can talk about. I mean, it's my research. I spend a lot of time on this, uh, but you can Google my name, and then if you want to read my
Sure, of
dissertation
course, yeah.
research, and then you'll find my research and read it. I think it's important that we learn about refugees, and it's important that we include them in our education system. You, as like this conference, we should be advocates. We should be voice of these silenced people. We tend to silence them. Let's be their advocate. Let's be their voice. Let's fight so we can include their voice in education. The curriculum should not be white. I mean, I'm talking about America. The curriculum should not be white. We are all colors. We are all people from different ethnicities, from different cultures. We're living in this land. Every one of us, each and one of us has to be included in that curriculum. And that's what I fight for today. That's the reason actually why I got my PhD, because I wanted to be in that position to fight for the voice of these unheard voices. Thank you. I really appreciate having me today. I really appreciate it.
We we are really glad to have you, and thank you for taking the time to take part in our conference and waking up. Oh my God, so early! Like it's really early.
Coffee.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, so it was a great pleasure. I don't know if someone wants to ask anything. I'm sure everything that you were talking about it was like very clear. That I'm not sure, but if anyone wants to ask Mr. Yakub anything, you can just go ahead. Hi, Justina.
I'm trying to formulate the question in my head,
I see. Yeah.
but it's so complicated because, well, first of all, thank you for your presentation. It's great to feel your passion, because you're so alive when you talk about this topic. So, it feels like whatever you say is actual truth, that you believe in it 100%. And then I was listening to you. I tried to compare all the American context and then European and, of course, most importantly for me, Lithuanian context. And then you mentioned this thing that, we should try to think how to include people into education system, which I agree 100%. But then I had a thought like the system is so complicated, so now we have more migrants and refugees from different parts of the world, from Ukraine, from Belarus, from Middle East, from Africa. And, some people get the refugee status, some of them get, what's the name of it? The right to live for some time. And their children will begin to go to school. And the only way how we can actually include is to have someone from a cultural background to educate the rest of us. Because, I cannot read Wikipedia and pretend that I'm an expert. I need someone who's from there. And it's so complicated because the system is different. As Mushrek was telling before, like if you don't have a paper which is valid, so let's say in Lithuania or in Europe as a whole, you cannot do anything, like nothing. Nada.
Nada. Nada, nada, limonada. That's right. Unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Justina. Thank you. And that's what we need to do. Okay, so how do we bring these people? That's the question. How do we bring these people to step in and the education system and the system in general, not just the health system and the social system everywhere? in the government? How do we bring them? Because what we tend to do, and that's what the system, I mean, at least I'm talking about the American system, that's what the system is doing. Once you see these people trying to approach, trying to get there, and we push them down, and we push them down, and they try to get there, we push. How do we bring these people? They struggle to get there, but we push them down. How do we bring them? Is by empowering them, is by giving them, they already come with a lot of hope. They don't fight to chase these dreams unless they have hopes. So they come with a lot of hope. They don't leave their home countries without that hope, the hope that they're achieving some new dreams. We have to be advocate. We have to talk. We have to write. We have to um, speak up, and we have to tell people, like this conference, like other conferences, that my duty as a professor and as an educator, that's what I do in my classes and conferences. I write to government. I write to our candidates. Vote. That's what I do. I educate people to vote for the right people. Um, but it's hard. It's not an easy journey. It's hard. As I said earlier, we keep getting pushed down, but we shouldn't give up. You, Justina, and Sikna, and Muhammad, and everybody else. That's why we're here in this conference, because we believe of that voice, and that's what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. But well, once again, I can talk only from Lithuanian perspective because I am Lithuanian, even though I've been living abroad in the past for many years. I decided to come back, and we as Lithuanians, we just start to learn what does it mean to protest.
Oh, wow!
It's new. Like Sikna was going to this protest recently, and I looked at her, and I was honest, like I've never been to a protest. Right? So
This
in
is
United
very
States, it's
strong.
a huge thing to protest, to go and shout, to write to officials. It's a different culture. Us, slowly, we just start to learn these things, right?
Wow.
So
Very
that's why I
interesting.
have all these questions, right? So I listen to you, and I believe it's true, and I agree that people have to, take the power in their hands and act. But also, like, I come from a culture where normally we're kind of quiet, and we just, we get angry in our heads.
This should be a dissertation. I don't know what your education background is, but this should be a dissertation topic. It's wow. What you're saying is something that we should all think about. Are we silencing our society, or are we giving them the chance to speak up and get their voices heard? What are we doing to our society? When the war with Gaza, and I don't want to just talk, but when the war with Gaza started, Israel and Gaza, you heard how they started silencing people's voices. You can't speak. You can't say this. You can't say that. And I went to a demonstration right away because I was like, I believe that's what I teach. I teach for justice. I teach for social justice and voice.
And it's actually amazing. You are really passionate talking about everything. Unfortunately, I'm
Hello.
really sorry that I had to interrupt because we only have 15 minutes left and we have one more session. But the
I'm so sorry.
topics, like everything that you've said, it's really like it's a great advantage that we had you in this conference. We really want to thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to be part in our conference. And I'm really sorry again for interrupting, but we have to.
No, I'm very sorry for taking much of your time. Gracias.
No,
Muchas gracias. Shukran.
thank you so much.
مع السلامة.
Thank you. So now we have one more session. That is with Dr. Ali Khalaf. Unfortunately, Dr. Ali he couldn't be join us, but he recorded a video. So I just wanted to introduce him. Um, Dr. Ali Khalaf, he's a former manager of the Cultural Center at the University of Basra and a distinguished professor at the Business and Economic School. We are really privileged to have him record this video and that we share it today, sharing his profound insights of the future of learning and suggestions to enhance our education system in the context of our virtual conference, Migrant Inclusion in the Education System. He's an expert in change management and human development. Mr. Ali will be addressing this main topic, and he'll be focusing on the future of learning and offering valuable suggestions for improvement. His talk promises to explore innovative approaches of education with a keen emphasis on fostering critical thinking, problem solving skills, and the mentorship and development of international students. So let's go to the video and we'll be back.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank my friend Mohammed Al-Amri, Communication Specialist at the National Institute for Social Integration, for inviting me to speak in this conference. I am honored to shed some light on this important topic. To begin with, there is a big debate in the literature about the immigration. Scholars studies its effect on countries from economical, culture, and socio-political aspects in terms of its advantages and disadvantages. Some countries see migrants as a threat for their national workforce, whereas some countries, such as in Europe, North America, see them as a competitive advantages for their economies. And now let me just define migrants from economical perspective. Migrants simply means human capital moved from one area to another. So what human capital means in the economic context? Well, it simply means people or group people who possesses skills, knowledge, experience, competencies, qualification that make them valuable economic asset for a country. And in answering the conference question about how to include human capital into the education system, which potentially going to lead to integrate them into the labor market and community, the answer is through multiple programs and initiatives. And on top of these programs and initiatives would be designing an inclusive education system. I will share some of examples from Canada, how they design inclusive education and comprehensive immigration system. But before, let me talk about general facts for any country wants to effectively exploit migrants and integrate them into the labor market. First, these countries need to define their vision for the future, where they want to go, where they want to be, what they want to be leader in, which industry, where their focus is. Once they define their vision, and now they can set their goals. Once they set their goals to achieve this vision, now like all the stakeholders from private sector, from public sector, from colleges, universities, they have to sit together and discuss their need from training and development programs to help those migrants integrate and be successful in the labor market. And this is really important to define your goals, allocate your resources. Managers, they play a big role here in in determining their needs from material resources and also human resources, and they have to collaborate all together about designing effective education system and training and development programs. So a well-designed education system will lead to fostering innovation and creativity, harnessing diverse skills, enhances productivity and competencies, promoting social cohesion and reducing inequality. And now let me walk you through Canada's programs to integrating migrants into their communities and labor market. So Canada has tens of programs pre-arrival and post-arrival to help newcomers. These programs are designed to help newcomers better understand the opportunities and quickly integrate into the labor market. For example, there's a program called CIIP, Canadian Immigration or Immigrant Integration Program. This program designed to serve those who wants to come to Canada while they are in their home countries. So the program was launched as a pilot in 2007 and then transformed into a full-fledged program in 2010. The program helps immigrants better prepare for economic success by providing information, planning, and online support through partners in Canada. This is pre-arrival. Post-arrival service, Canada also have contracts with hundreds of non-profits, employment and settlement organizations and agencies to help them while they are in Canada and help their families as well in terms of housing, school for kids, healthcare services, among many others. And now I'll give you an example of one of the programs that helps a certain group of immigrants be successful in the labor market of Canada. So there is a program called Bridging Employment designed to help those internationally trained into integrating in the labor market, in the Canadian labor market. So these programs, let's take for example one of the programs that I fully aware of, called Bridging for Employment in Media and Communication. This program designed to train journalists who are already have degrees, experience from their home countries, and they want to start their career here in Canada. So this program teach them about laws in Canada, about regulations in Canada, about institutions in Canada, media outlets, in addition to some skills that meets the Canadian standards in graphic design, filming, news editing, among many others. So these people who come from like with experience and knowledge from their country, so they need kind of help to show them like what the Canadian market need in media and communication. And then at the end of program, there is a 3 months placement. So each immigrant or a newcomer works for an employee, Canadian employee, either paid placement or as a volunteer. And this opportunity helps them to connect with people and also sometimes if it is paid, then they can get like a lump sum of money that helps them in paying their expenses. So, and this is like really creative idea in designing a program that helps immigration. And it's important to note that Canada is a pioneer country in celebrating diversity and multiculturalism. And the laws here in Canada is very strict about racism and discrimination against any minorities, any based on skin color or religion. It's very very deep rooted in their culture and also in their uh, laws and regulations. And now I'd like to talk about the key strategies uh, that we can draw from the Canadian experience for effective integration. So building upon Canada's model, so we need to tailor our support. It means simply customizing our programs to address a specific skills gap in Canada, and then we provide training uh, based on that. We have to collaborate, everyone, all the stakeholders, private, public, universities, colleges, institutions, all they have to collaborate in order to design and bring comprehensive and inclusive solutions. Continuous evaluation and adaptation is very important. So, because once we implement a program, then challenges will appear. And here we're gonna need some kind of modification. We need to address some sort of issues to better design our programs. So, finally, I would like to say, like the integration of immigrant human capital into the labor market isn't just like a moral imperative or moral duty. It is an economic necessity as well. They are opportunity, and we have to exploit this opportunity. So by adopting inclusive policies and programs like this seen in Canada, we can unlock the immense potential of migrants' talent, fostering a more prosperous, diverse, and equitable society.
So I want to thank Dr. Ali for taking the time and recording this video. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us, and unfortunately, due to the lack of time, we're not able to uh, take the Q&A discussion part. But I hope everyone enjoyed. Our conference. And now, as we draw the curtains on this insightful meeting and exploring migrants' inclusion in the education system, my heartfelt gratitude goes to each one of you for being part of this enriching dialogue. The depth of discussions on cultural issues, language barriers, and the future of learning has not only broadened our perspectives but has sown seeds for actionable exchange. I extend a special acknowledgement to our distinguished speakers, whose expertise has illuminated our understanding, and to our engaged participants, of course, who've made this gathering a vibrant exchange of ideas. Let's carry the momentum of inclusivity and the wealth of insights gained here into our ongoing pursuits. While our physical paths may not have crossed, the digital connections forged during this conference hold immense potential. Each of you has played a crucial role in making this shared virtual space a reservoir of collaborative knowledge. As we bid adieu, may the impact of our discussions resonate in our endeavors, contributing to a more inclusive and enlightened education landscape. Thank you once again for your active participation. Until our journeys intersect in future pursuits, I wish you continued success, learning, and advocacy for an education system that embraces diversity. Um, and until next time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Ciao.
So, ciao.